Welcome to the Day After Podcast and our sub-show, Pixar Sunday, where we are watching all of the 21 Pixar movies from Toy Story in 1995 to onward in 2020, not counting Toy Story 4 because we've seen it already. Click there for more info. And today is episode 3 where we're tackling 1999's Toy Story 2.
So I said at the beginning of this big Pixar Sunday thing that this may be my favorite Pixar movie. We'll see what life is like at the end of the episode of, how many are there? 21?
21,
yeah. So we'll see how many, if that is still true at the end of 21. But God, it's damn good.
What excites me is I know there's room for improvement.
Yeah.
I found faults and I'm excited.
Yeah. So the first thing we noticed when you turn this movie on, and granted we were watching an HD version. Holy shit! What a difference 4 years can make.
Okay, so yeah, I'm impressed about the small jump between Toy Story and A Bug's Life. I am blown away by the technological advancements from A Bug's Life to Toy Story 2, especially for what was going to be a direct-to-home video movie.
Yeah. So John was telling me this was going to be a direct-to-video sequel, and then as they kept testing it, people are like, "Oh my God, this is really good. You should give this a theatrical release." And they're like, "All right, but we're gonna try harder then."
Okay, that is nice because I don't know, Lasseter didn't see it because Lasseter directed, but somebody higher up saw it and said, this could be a theatrical. And this was my first experience as a kid with finding out that a sequel can be a thing. If you have a movie you like, they can make a sequel out of it. And
I'd been familiar with Disney sequels already, but I'd never seen one that was going into theater.
You might find this interesting. A good part of the reason why this went from direct to DVD or whatever the format was to a home video or to a theatrical release was because of the success of Aladdin 2: Return of Jafar.
Which is actually my favorite sequel, and I realize it sucks.
And it made $100 million. They're like, guys, we can do a theatrical release. And they're like, but it's out in 9 months. You're going to have to. And it was a really tough challenge, but they pulled it out of their ass, and I don't know how they did this. This whole thing should be on fire with how little time you had to work on it.
Yeah, and this movie should not exist, and it almost didn't. Thank God to what's her name? Galen Sussman?
Oh yeah, okay. So there's an urban legend, and it's not urban because it's fact. That when this movie almost got deleted because somebody was messing with the root folders, and everybody's works in progress were gone. They were missing the models for the toys. Like, what the fuck do we do? And this girl named Gail Sussman, who I thought was just a lowly intern, she's actually the supervising technical director of this movie.
Yeah. And
she had a new baby. They said, "Can I work from home?" Of course you get a new baby. She's like, "Guys, I have a backup." Thank God.
Thank God.
We're out 2 days of work instead of 7 months.
Oh, jeez. And yeah, and they didn't have the time to have a freaking mistake like that.
So God bless you. Holy cow. And it shows. I didn't think they were capable of, like, dust effects.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's fracking incredible. And the light and the shadows that play off of, and it's not perfect. Like, a lot of the humans do still need some work.
I'm glad that you pointed out that Andy's mom and Wayne Knight's character need work.
Yeah, they're so much better. So much better. But we've come a long way from Scud.
Oh yeah, so this is our slow pantheon. It's like somebody showed me, it's like Scud, Buster from this movie, Buster in the third movie, and then the cat from Toy Story 4, which is just a picture.
Yeah.
That's fucking ridiculous.
So enough behind the scenes, let's actually get into the movie. What is less of an asshole? And he's more like, I don't know, the situation surrounding Woody now. Like, in the first movie, Woody wants to get rid of Buzz so he can be the best toy. In this movie, Woody has to decide between being a collector's item and being someday forgotten.
Well, that's what I like, is that thematically it's way more deep than, because it's interesting that Buzz learns that being a toy is more important than being a fake space ranger.
Yeah.
This is, I wrote it down on a different sheet I don't have now, but what I like about this is that this is not a toy version of a human problem that people have, choosing between immortality and being human. This is a moral decision specifically aimed at toys, so we can't quite relate to that situation.
And I know we've kind of debunked the idea that, not debunked, but we've kind of tossed aside the idea that Woody and Buzz are not parental figures. They're not substitutes for Andy's dad. But if they are, if Woody and Jessie specifically are parental figures for these kids, this movie is so much sadder.
We'll get to Jessie in a second, I guess. Am I derailing you?
No, you're fine.
Okay. I want to talk about the elephant in the room because I feel like this is what I'm about to describe was fresh when they did it, and now it's not. The idea that Kelsey Grammer as Prospector Pete, when he turns out to be the bad guy, it's well paid off and foreshadowed.
Yeah, that was a big that was a big deal back in this time. Like, that was just like, holy crap, this guy I spent all this time with is now not the person I thought he was. What a betrayal. And it just like blows your mind when you first see it.
I'll bet like in 20 seconds we can come up with 5 other movies that do that.
Frozen.
Go again.
Put all the weight on me, John.
Whoever the bad guy is from Cars 2.
Yeah.
Don't make me go there. But the point is, it was cool when they did it because they put the effort in, and now it's just.
And not that twist. The bunny trail here. Not that all twist villains are bad. They just have to be done well. They need the general plot setup of introduction, reinforcement, payoff, and so many don't do that, but it does here, and it works really well.
Moana didn't do that.
No.
Oh, but that's neither here nor there. There are fragments of this movie that still scream straight to home video. The song at the end. It just feels like
if you just ignore it, it's fine.
I think that some other movie in the Pixar pantheon can beat Toy Story 2, and the door was left open by that song.
But it's so if you ignore the stupid Bruce Springsteen, "You Got a Friend in Me," it's still really, really good. It's a great story, and I'm one of those weird people that I love the Disney sequels. I think there is merit in them. I think yes, they're bad movies, but that doesn't mean I can't enjoy watching them. But with Toy Story 2, like, it says one thing I love about Pixar is how adult they treat kids. And this, especially for being the 3rd installment movie, and even so among its wider pantheon, this deals with some heavy shit.
Yeah, people have really praised Jessie's portrayal of claustrophobia.
Yeah,
that's uncomfortable.
And claustrophobia, PTSD, abandonment issues.
Yes. Like,
good God, that girl's a mess. And she hides it all by being really loud and yodeling and putting on a happy face.
Now
and being annoying.
You backspaced on Jessie, I think, over the course of our relationship.
I don't mind Jessie. I really don't. She's a little, when you first meet her and she's all super excited, crazy about Woody, she's a little much. And when she's being super deep, dark, and depressing and emotionally manipulative, she's also a little much. Can I finish my thought, please?
Yeah.
I'm not saying that it's not coming from an understandable place. I understand that she was abandoned as a toy. That song is amazing and beautiful, and I cried the first time I saw it. I had to pause the movie. That doesn't change that what she's doing and what she's saying to Woody is shitty.
Correct. I wouldn't put it in the pantheon of like characters you're supposed to hate.
I never said that. I never said that.
Okay, but you're just I'm
pointing out that I don't like Jessie.
Okay, but you said similar things about Pete, that what they're doing is shitty, and yes, that's but it comes from a good place. Not a good. Let me back up. It doesn't come from a good place. It comes from an understandable place.
Yeah. Jessie's understandable. Pete's a villain.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I have to like her or like her mannerisms or like the emotional manipulation thing is really, really digs me. And I recognize it comes from certain things I've had to deal with in my life.
Okay.
Of people holding shit over your head and being like, I'm going to go back in storage if you don't do what I need you to do. I can
see why personal situations would cause that. What I want, and I'm not putting words in your mouth. I just think that it would be wrong, and I'm not saying you did this, if you said that this person is a manipulative bastard, therefore they fail as a setup character.
No, Jessie's a great character, very, very necessary for this show. She just rubs me the wrong way.
I just think that the general, and here's something I never thought I'd talk about, was the general idea of a toy means, except for your room full of other toys, you don't really get out and meet other toys.
No.
Like, there's the big communal thing in Toy Story 3 where, like, new toy! But other than that, you don't see a lot of new people, which is why I think Woody went so long before finding out he's a 50s beloved by children icon.
Yeah. Another problem I have with this movie, I don't like other Buzz. He's a plot device. And I think he wastes a lot of time.
Well, I have a couple of thoughts. I think, number one, that it was funny to see the new Buzz, almost Light Yagami style, to compare and contrast the Tim Allen would come to know and love with the you are not a flying toy. Go ahead.
That would have been funny as like a one-off gag, which is what I was hoping it was. Like that scene in the aisle of Al's Toy Barn, fucking hilarious. Even if it was a little traumatizing that Buzz got locked in a box. But like, other Buzz is there for like a good chunk of the movie.
Let me posit something to you. Maybe it's, and not putting words in your mouth, that I feel like that was a joke that was rehashed in 3.
Well, we're not talking about 3.
But I think at the time it was interesting. It's a cool, I want to say cool even. Here I am trying to like play devil's advocate. I'm like, oh, well, my idea is not cool. There are jokes about it. There's like, he's the big ham, no offense, Ratzenberger, of him thinking he's real, and he makes jokes about how he's going to let go of the wall and put Mr. Potato Head up against the ceiling. Yeah, it's weird that they made him a tag-along character.
Yeah, and that the kind of thing would have been funny like once or twice. Like those gags would have been funny. He's there for a good chunk of the movie.
Would you feel the same way if Barbie was a tag-along character?
I mean, it's whatever.
I think so. But we're not talking about 3.
And I don't want to sound like I'm shitting on this movie. Again, I will go ahead and say that this may be my favorite Pixar film. We'll find out by the end of this. But those are the two things. Because I love this movie so much, I do want to kind of analyze its flaws.
That should be like our motto, though. If you love it, you deserve to crack down.
Yeah, and those are my two. Watching it again, those were my two big issues. Is Jessie's not as good as I remember her, and other Buzz is annoying.
Okay, how you feel about Jessie? That is the definition of your mileage may vary.
Mm-hmm.
To some people, no problem at all. To other people, stop.
Yeah.
Oh goddamn. Lasseter's wife, by the way, is the person who said you should put Jessie in this movie because you need a strong female role model with more substance than Bo Peep. And now that I'm watching this again, holy shit, Bo Peep, get your act together.
She's a sex symbol.
Don't say that about
That's pretty much what she is. The only thing she's doing is jumping after Woody's cock.
I feel like that was a first draft script at the first movie, and somebody added a note. You should have a Woody girlfriend.
Yeah, the parents need something to watch. Let's watch them get kissed all the time.
I know, she leaves in 3, but do you really miss her? Did she add a ton to the plot? Even in 1, she's not there very much.
Yeah.
Huh. But at least 2 does that thing that 3 does not do, which is it fucking respects its characters.
Yes. And again, we're not talking about 3.
Okay, but I was really refreshed how Rex, Ham, Potato Head, and Slinky, my boy, are always there.
And one of my favorite things about this movie is they go through all this bullshit. They go through the toy store. They give weight to this journey that Buzz and everybody goes on. And when they get up there, Woody's like, "Oh, I'm not going. I'm going to Japan." And Buzz is like, "Fuck you then," and leaves.
That was a great like. I like that Buzz. I think part of it speaks to the fact that he used to think he was a great honorable space ranger. That he's like, you know what? I'm really mad at that, but I have to respect your decision.
Well, it's like, I respect your decision. He's also like, if that's really your decision, you're not the Woody I know.
I came here for somebody that I could change your mind, and if I can't change your mind, well,
yeah, then fine.
F you.
Yes. You taught me this lesson last movie, and you're refusing to heed your own words now.
And it avoids becoming the opposite of what we saw in last movie.
Yeah.
Where it could have been Buzz has to teach Woody what Woody taught Buzz in the first movie.
Can you imagine if this movie starred Woody and Buzz's kids?
As kids?
No, Woody and Buzz's physical children. Which is what most Disney sequels do.
Oh, gross. I'm just glad they went I'm glad that they did more when they did more Toy Story shit. They went the shorts route.
Yeah.
Instead of my kid learns a lesson.
Yeah.
That's gross.
And one thing I like about this movie is it expands the universe. It's a great sequel. You get new characters, and these new characters add their own while bouncing off of what is already there. You get to expand the universe that you've grown to know and familiar with.
Yeah.
And the first movie still has weight. What happened in the first movie still matters.
Yes, it's a pulled back, larger scope, and that is actually something that Lasseter said I wanted to do, is that the first movie is 2 houses, done.
Yeah.
And maybe Pizza Planet. This one, I want a toy store, a car. They drive in this movie?
Twice.
We're going to take a small break to talk about the mainstays, because they're super obvious. John Ratzenberger prices his role as Ham the pig, the slotted pig. And the pizza...
Read the car manual.
And they drive an actual Pizza Planet truck, so you're not going to have any fun visuals of me pointing it out with a big red arrow at the entire screen.
This is probably the hardest A113 to find.
Oh, it's very difficult, yeah. So you in the shot where Prospector Pete is tucked inside a Barbie backpack and slides onto the luggage return, you can hear him very softly go, now boarding for flight A113.
Yes.
So that's tough. I had to be looking for it. I had to Google it, but there you go. What is up with Sarah McLachlan? Because I feel like that scene is divisive slightly.
I feel like that is the scene everybody remembers from this movie, which is fucking crazy because a bunch of toys jump off an airplane.
That is nuts.
But that is the scene that everybody remembers.
But I feel like as a whole we can tangentially talk about Pixar movies, but I'm getting up energy from that.
I don't like that phrase.
But it feels like a self-contained backstory. And maybe it feels manipulative because Sarah McLachlan has a history of voice singing on ASPCA commercials.
So one thing I like about When She Loved Me is kind of something I learned to appreciate with Inside Out. There are so many times in kids' movies and even some adult movies where you don't allow people to feel sad, at least not for real. You have the all is lost moment. He dumped me. Now I have to just be a career woman. But with number one, that scene almost comes out of nowhere. Jessie's been kind of a freaking annoying brat up until that point. She's like, no, I don't want to go back in storage again. Here's what happened to me. And Woody's like, oh my God. And he just not only does he feel her pain, he looks into his future.
Oh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I feel like in the toy life cycle, to use that heavy air quotes, Jessie's further along than Woody is.
Yeah.
Because
she's been held, loved, and abandoned once.
Because I feel like part of the reason, I hate to get into this lore shit, but I feel like part of the reason that Woody didn't have the same come to Jesus moment that Buzz did in the first movie was because if he was that prop Woody, kids were playing with him all the time. He was adored by children. He knew he wasn't a cowboy.
Well, and we never saw the start of Woody's life cycle, and honestly, it doesn't matter.
I don't need it. Can you imagine if that was the 4th movie?
The point is that is what that is what toys go through, and it's something all of us have to amalgamate ourselves to. And this idea that kids can't feel sad ever is stupid. Kids have emotions, and those emotions are legitimate, and they should be able to explore all of them, and be able to recognize those emotions in other kids and in other beings, and that's what movies should foster. That this is already twice as long as our last Toy Story review.
But
do you want to move into final thoughts?
I think I'm tapped out. Yes, it's a funnier movie, but it's a wittier movie. It's not like a lot of the jokes from 1 were from Woody just looking bored as Buzz chokes to death on the oxygen.
Yeah, and a lot of jokes for 1, it was kind of still kind of playing with a lot of new material. This one is so weird in that it has the really deep emotional stuff, the witty, high-class witty jokes. There's also farting, every 5 seconds.
There are multiple fart jokes in this movie.
Or at least passing gas.
There's a burp joke in the movie itself, and then there's 2 farting jokes.
And then there's Rex being an idiot constantly.
Man, Rex, you dropped the ball in this movie.
What? Wallace Shawn, like, I love you to death, man, but the Rex is so bad.
The thing I'm the most excited about as we look forward is that you like it because it pretty much holds up for you, I feel like.
Yeah, I think it does. I like this movie. I'm glad they shelved Toy Story for a while.
A long time, yeah.
And explored other things they could do.
And we'll talk in however many movies, in like 8 or 9 movies, why they shelved it, but that's for another story. I'm excited that I used to think this was the God Pixar movie. I'm excited that it can be beaten now.
Yeah, and it is good. It has problems. I'm glad to be able to watch it and see those problems, and it almost makes me like it even more.
Well, that's been part 3 of Pixar Sunday. Join us in 1 week where we are discussing 2001's Monsters Incorporated. But hey, that's another day.